Hello everyone, welcome to another episode of the Growth Switch with me, Cyril. This being the 15th episode. Can you believe it? It's been 15 episodes already. In this series, we share insights and practical tips on academic, career, and personal development matters to help you grow and succeed on your journey. In this episode, we'll be touching on motivation and understanding your motivation. Um, Basically, if you aren't motivated, you will not really want to do anything really. So motivation is key into what we do on an everyday basis. Your motivation drivers can either come from within, or they can be uh, um, persuaded by exterior factors. So it's important for you to understand what motivates you and what drives your motivation to do anything really, a task, a small task or the biggest of tasks. So in this episode, just sharing some considerations for you to think about in terms of where your motivation could possibly come from, or where you can try rekindle your motivation, and when to know when you've lost motivation and now it's time to possibly may move on to a new challenge, a new task, and so on and so forth. Okay. So like I said, you need to understand what is the source of your motivation. Some of us, particularly when you're doing something, you want to understand why you're doing it. What is the end goal? What is the purpose of this? Sometimes when you try and do something and you can't see what the purpose of it at the end is, you kind of struggle to find motivation to get up and do it to the best of your abilities. So it's key to find out, okay, so what is the task? What is the end goal to it? Can be either in your work setting, can be your home life, can be in business. Understanding what you're doing and why is key. That why is usually the answer to your motivation, whether or not you will be motivated to do this in the first place or not. Um, you need to understand, like I said, where you draw your motivation from, because there can be internal factors, meaning factors that you internally are going to drive you to do something. Might be, for example, your values. So you might perceive, let's say, there is a organization, charitable organization, that needs people to help to make sandwiches that are going to be distributed to the homeless every day, and you might, be required to go there maybe once a week or something, or twice for a shift to go and help make sandwiches. If you are the person, one of your values is that you want to, assist organizations like these that try to alleviate issues of hunger and help the homeless, to survive on a day-to-day basis, then you'll be driven to go there and volunteer your time. You might even go there more than twice a week, because that's something internally that you feel strongly about, So your values are also a key thing, because if you get a task and it's not necessarily in line with your values, then there'll be a clash and you might not be motivated to do it. And you might then also have, like I said, the other spectrum where you might draw inspiration or motivation from outside factors. So, for example, some people need some sort of incentive to do something. So you might get either money, or someone might promise you a holiday, or someone might promise you something that they know uh, you value quite a lot, and that might be a contributor into your motivation to doing this particular task. So you need to know, are you the type of person who you will need some sort of incentive for you to do something, which then if you get a task, you ask, okay, so what's in it for me if I do this? Or sometimes you're able to figure out yourself what's in it for you, right? Okay, so if I do this, then the end goal might be this. Or sometimes it's not that clear, and you might need some clarity from whoever is either giving you the task, or who you're delivering to, or something like that. Also, some other external drivers might be, say, your family, your friends. You might have role models. So you might, for example, take up a very challenging job or a very challenging business venture, but that business venture is such that it will deliver such success for you that you can be able to provide your family with a better quality of life. So then you might draw your motivation from that at the end of it all, I'll be able to provide my family with a better quality of life, and that will help you through the hardships and when the going gets tough, to help you push through there. Okay. Some people also want to collaborate with others, right? So if you're one of those who wants to collaborate with others and you don't like working on your own, and the fact that you interact with other people kind of motivates you to get up and go and deliver the task, then you must identify if you're that person, right? And you must make sure that you align all that you do in a setting where you're going to have people. But some people are not like that. Some people like to do things on their own, right? The minute you tell them, I'm giving you group work, they're like, oh no, I'm not really sure I want to do this, and they might drag their weight, and they might not be that they might not participate that much in a group setting. It's not that they don't want to, it's just like some personalities don't entirely feel comfortable in a group setting. You would rather sit down and do it on your own, and you find that if they do sit and do it on their own, they'll execute it very much so. Okay. So it's very key to know all these key drivers. I've given some examples here, but there could be more. Understand what are your key drivers of your motivation, both that you draw from internally yourself, like I said earlier, the values and so on and so forth, and from externally, so monetary, incentive, family, friends, role models, otherwise. What are these factors, and make sure that you're aligning your tasks to that. Because here's the thing, if no one wants to work with someone who's not motivated, either in your formal job 9 to 5, as you put it, in business, or in your personal life. If you just get there and someone is like always drained of energy, they've got no energy, they're not motivated to do anything at all, it tends to also drain you. So no one really wants to do with that. So it's always key to find motivation. And here's the last point I'm going to make. If you lose motivation altogether, then it's probably time to find something new. Because once you've lost motivation, everything else will become a drag for you, for the people you're around. It will just become difficult just for everyone. So if you really can't rekindle your motivation with the factors I mentioned earlier, by finding those motivational factors internally within you or outside, then it's probably some time to find a new challenge, something new, right? If it's your job, probably finding a new job. If it's something else, just assess whatever it is, task that it is, and if you can find something else. So those are the points I wanted to bring across with regards to motivation, and basically it's about finding the why for you. Once you've unlocked that why, everything else falls into place. So if you found these insights very useful, remember to share them with those who stand to benefit the most, and remember to subscribe to the channel to get notified when we post more content, and follow us on social media as well. The Growth Switch on Facebook, Instagram, LinkedIn. We post some content in between the YouTube videos, so you don't miss out on that. And remember, if you've missed out on any other insights from the other 14 episodes, you can go to the channel, you can catch up on those. And let's grow together.